hope all of us are doing great. My name is Ernest, and this is Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. Today we are going to look at an aspect of the concept of derivatives, and this of course was under the broader topic of differentiation, which I've discussed in various set of different videos. So in today's discussion, we're going to look at the basic names or the basic terms that we may come across under the concept of differentiation. And this, of course, are going to be the basic elements or the basic concept that we may come across in real functions or elementary functions of calculus, as I mentioned in our previous video. So basically, we have been given the function of y as a function of fx given as such. Now, of course, we said that we can define the concept of a derivative using this specific function, whereby we see that this derivative is going or can be represented in terms of f prime of x. F prime of x, we are given a general or an algebraic representation of this specific function, whereby we see that this is going to be the difference between x plus an increment in the x, of course, and then minus f of x are given as such. And this, of course, was over the value of that specific increment, as we said, as h, or as the limit of h tends to 0 given as such. So this basically defined a concept of f of x, and perhaps I can give this one in a more elaborate way. So we're going to have this one f of x, f prime of x given as fx plus h minus fx over h. The limit as a function, the limit of this as a function, or rather as h tends to 0, even in this specific case. Now we're going to see that from this specific illustration, we are going to represent this specific part of the function, whereby we're going to have this one representing what we call the difference quotient. And of course, in case I mention the term the difference quotient, then I refer to this specific part of a derivative or a representation of a derivative that I've given in terms of f into x plus 1 minus fx over h. And therefore, that one refers to as a difference derivative. Now, this difference derivative is going to be very essential in determining whether the function exists or not, or this particular function f of x exists, f prime of x exists or not. So I mentioned this specific concept of this particular function existing or not when I was talking about the concept of limits. And of course, I'm going to put a link of this specific discussion in the video in our description boxes. And from this specific discussion, we said that if f prime of x exists, then we're going to refer to that particular function as a differentiable. So therefore, if they exist, the limit does not exist, then that function is not differentiable. So this case, this is going to apply to a condition of the function f prime of x existing, and therefore we're going to refer to that function as differentiable. And in this particular case, therefore, if we have f prime of this specific function, we're going to refer to this f prime of this particular function as a derived function. Therefore, whenever I'm going to mention the concept, apart from differentiable, difference quotient, and then if a function f of x, of course, as I've said, is going to be differentiable, f prime is going to be given as a derived function of this particular function fx given in this specific case. So therefore, we're going to see that this one can as well be demonstrated in terms or be defined in terms of the domain of that particular function, considering f and f of x respectively. So in this case, if f prime of x exists, we're going to say that this particular differentiable function can be represented as f prime of x, whereby x forms a set of all numbers, whereby x is going to consist of values of d, whereby d implies the domain. Therefore, I've said that if this f prime of this specific function is consisting of values which are of the same domain of the definition of the function f of x, And of course, this is going to be said to be a differentiable function, and therefore can be obtained from this specific function through a process of what we refer to as a differentiation. So basically, this is going to be a summary set of discussion on how we can be able to define the concept of a differentiation using this general illustration of the concept of a derivative, which I've given in this specific format. So this is going to consist of a set of course, terms which I've mentioned, starting from the difference quotient, and of course of the concept of a function being a differentiable, and of this f prime of I being referred to as a derived function of f. And of course, I've said that if these specific functions share the common domain, then we're going to say that this particular function f prime of x can be achieved from f of x through the process of differentiation in that specific order. So we're going to use various examples in our various discussion in trying to describe the concept of a differentiation. And of course, this is going to form an elementary part of our calculus, which we said basically, which is going to deal with the concept of integration and differentiation in that specific order. So catch us in our next video as we're going to look at various forms of this concept of differentiation. And that's going to shed more light on what basically this particular aspect of course, calculus entails. So that is it for now, guys. By God, please. We'll catch us in our next video.